Hello friends, how are you? I hope you are absolutely fine. I am Pratham, I am here with a brand new video. In today's topic, I will state you how to be a complete data scientist, and I will tell you about the complete roadmap from scratch, from where you have to start, and gradually from which books you have to cover your chapters and which books you have to follow to be exactly a data scientist. So in the previous video, I have already stated about the very basics of the data science. Today, I'll tell you about a little bit more and I'll tell you about the complete roadmap. So in the previous video, I have already stated who is a great data scientist. The statistician with a great programming knowledge is a good data scientist, or a programmer with a good statistical knowledge is a great data scientist. So, you know about the definition of a data scientist. So, in order to be a data scientist from scratch, from where you have to begin. So, you have to begin with very basics of statistics and mathematics. In order to start with very basics of the mathematics, from where you have to basically start, so you have to recall your mathematics of 11th and 12th standard. You already know about the things, but maybe you forgot or something else, or you already remember all those couple of things, but you have to recall those. So in order to start with all those basic things, from which topics you have to cover, that I have noted it down in my cell phone. So you have to start with very basic algebra, like set theory and logarithm and these couple of things, very basic algebra. And after that you have to go for some sort of linear algebra. That is very important. Linear algebra is very important, believe me. Not only very basics of the linear algebra, you have to know a little bit more about it. So you have to know about the eigenvalues, eigenvectors. After that, you have to know about the Cayley-Hamilton theorems. You have to know about the row operation, column operation, and so many things. If you know about the Hessian operation and all, then that's icing on the cake. So you may know a little bit more about it. After that, you have to know about the planar geometry, like straight lines, like circles, ellipse. Apart from that, hyperbola, parabola, this couple of curves and all, you should have the great knowledge about it. After that, you have to know about three-dimensional geometry, because when you will work with some sort of feature space, you should have the clarity behind the three-dimensional space, because up to three-dimensional you can actually see. After that, actually you have to entirely imagine. Beyond three dimension, for the fourth dimension, fifth dimension, actually you have to absolutely imagine. You can't see it, you can't even visualize it on pen and paper, nothing else you can you can't visualize it. Apart from that, you have to cover some sort of topics from calculus, differentiation, integration. Apart from them, area under the curve, that's very important. And then you have to solve some sort of differential equation. That's not needed exactly, but you may know about the things. Apart from that, you should have the knowledge about trigonometry and complex number. You may ask me, why trigonometry and the complex number? This is not needed at all to be a data scientist. Believe me, when I started to work on the spatial data, sometimes trigonometry was required to work on the spatial data. I had done a lots of work on the spatial data. Apart from complex number, apart from trigonometry, there is complex numbers. Why complex numbers? Complex numbers also needed to solve some problem of the spatial data for rotations and all. You may need to use all those couple of things. Not very frequently it will be needed. Apart from that, you should have the exact and clear knowledge about graphs and x versus y versus x graphs. You have to know about the planar graphs. If you know about the three-dimensional graph, if this is icing on the cake, of course. Apart from that, you have to know about the maximum minimum point of the graphs and all. So and which books you have to follow in order to know about the graphs. That is play with graphs. That's from in that particular book, it will be started from the very basics, but that's from the Aryan publication, and that is very nice book, and it will build up some sort of good knowledge about graphs inside you. So which books you have to follow? To be very frank, what book you have already followed in 11th and 12th standard, you can follow those couple of books. You can follow Thomas Calculus. That book is very nice book. Apart from that, if you want to know a little bit more about the geometry or something, Holland Knight, algebra for the Holland Knight, and S.L. Loney's geometry, that's very nice. You can follow Bauman, that's icing on the cake, but not needed exactly. You can always follow the Thomas Finney book, Thomas Calculus, because that particular book is written in very layman language, in layman term, and who guys are from the engineering background, they already followed that particular book, that is Engineering Mathematics, written by B.S. Grewal. Believe me, that book is very nice, and who guys are in the BTech should not ignore their engineering mathematics stuffs. They should not ignore that, because that is very essential. When we'll start for the very basic about the statistics, then which book you have to follow. I hope maximum of the audience are from the engineering background. For those, I'll always recommend the book that is nothing but Statistics for Engineers, that is written by Douglas Montgomery. So from where you have to start with the very basic statistics, that is central tendency of the data, after that variance of the data, and after that you have to know about the movement. The central tendency tells about the first movement of the data. Then the variance, standard deviation, these couple of things denotes the second movement of the data. After that you have to know about skewness and kurtosis, though those couple of terms tells about third and fourth movement of the data. So apart from that, so what do you have to know? That is sampling, how the data is exactly collected. After that you have to know about the inference and hypothesis testing. Inference, in hypothesis testing you have to know about the parametric and non-parametric testing. Gradually I will cover those couple of things in the next videos. After knowing these basic statistics and little bit more about the statistics, you have to jump for the statistical modeling or the machine learning modeling. So two types of basic modeling techniques we used for the supervised and supervised techniques. We'll talk about later for the unsupervised techniques. For supervised techniques, two things are there. One is regression, another one is the classification. Which techniques we exactly use to do regression and classification, that I will cover in the next videos. For unsupervised learning, we will cover some sort of PCA, clustering, etc. So just which book you have to follow in order to investigate the answer of this question, I will always recommend you the Elements of the Statistical Learning by Robert Tifsirian. His book is very nice. If it is hard for you, if it is basically hard for you, then you can follow the Introduction to Statistical Learning. You can start from that. And to be a data scientist, what is the exact roadmap? Just I have already covered it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and here is the ending of the video. Again, at the end of the video, my earnest request, please subscribe my channel and like this video, and press the bell icon. For today, bye bye. And this like and subscription gives me extra motivation for the next video. Believe me, for this, bye bye.